Alright, let's go. Will this car get up the hill? I've been picking wild mushrooms since I was a kid, and every autumn all the way through to deep winter we head out to this particular forest, well, a couple of different forests, trying to pick a number of species. I think there's about 6 or 8 different species we try to pick, and it's a pretty lovely winter day today, so we're heading out to see if we can find some mushrooms in the forest and make a couple of nice meals. Let's see how we go. Oh, there's a kangaroo there. Morning, fellas. When I was a little kid, I used to love spending time out in the bush when I grew up on the farm, and it just felt so, you know, pardon the pun, it just felt so natural, spending time out in the bush when I was walking and fishing and doing all those sorts of things. But as I've gotten older, spending time in nature has become more important, because it's very much about that disconnect and getting away from the hustle and bustle of life and slowing down and spending time in the place that we're probably supposed to be spending more time in. I mean, look at this, what a great view. Go. There's not much more moisture there, is there? It's still a bit dry apart from these puddles. Hopefully there's some goods out here today. It's been pretty quiet lately, hasn't it? This is one of our favourite spots to come picking mushrooms in autumn and winter, and it's not just because we get to pick mushrooms and then take them home and cook with them. It's actually just a beautiful forest, and very much unlike Australian bush, because this is all introduced species. And we particularly like the pine trees and the oaks, because that's where certain species of mushrooms grow that we like to pick and eat. And hopefully we can find some today. Just look at these superb oak trees. They've been in here for over 100 years and provide us with some delicious food.
Oh, wowzers. There's some parasols down here.
Oh, awesome.
Check it out.
Hey! Actually, they're kind of more of a autumn mushroom, but we'll take it.
Yeah. Wowzers.
Got.
Check it out. Parasol. Except this is not one of the freshest, but it's still pretty good. Take it. Another couple.
Not bad.
Yeah. They're not the freshest, but they're okay. No. There are so many more parasols, it seems. This one popping up underneath, except I'm not 100% certain of that one.
Yeah, I think we might leave that one.
I'm
It does look
leave.
very much like a parasol, but
It's a little too white there for my liking.
there's one over there.
But that one there, it's a fresh little one, and this guy over here too.
So we're in a spot where there's hundreds and hundreds of oak trees, and it's the leaf litter, the detritus, this stuff here, that the mushroom that we're trying to find, the wood bluet, loves to grow in, this rotting leaf litter. So we've got the right conditions. It has been raining over the last couple of weeks. We've got the right conditions. We've got loads of oak leaves. Just a matter of trying to find some bluets if we can. Yeah, there's usually a ring here, isn't there? I can't see any evidence that people have picked any of those mushrooms either, which is kind of a good thing, but at the same time that means that there's no mushrooms here, which is not a great thing. Fresh rupu. Oh wow. Hey, I've got some wood bluets. So one of the things that we like to do is once we see this particular species, because they grow in a fairy ring, you've got to be able to follow the fairy ring. And I can actually see that fairy ring now. There are heaps and heaps of wood bluets that are following. I'll just show you. You stay there. I'll just show here. So it's kind of somewhat of a circle. You've got one there, one there, one there, one there, and then it follows all the way around there and continues the circle. Well, I mean, some sort of circle shape to here, and it might continue along there. Sometimes it doesn't give you a complete circle, but that's one thing it's great about these mushrooms, this particular species of mushroom, is as soon as you see one, you get down low and you try and find the continuation of that fairy ring, and then you just pick the mushrooms that you want to cook with. This is great. This is a good find. The beginning, this is the first one. Get all this leaf litter, so you can see they absolutely love growing in oak leaves. This one's not a bad guy. Here, let's cut them on the stem so that we keep it all nice and clean. And I think, oh, look at that. What a ripper. And the smell of these, it's really difficult to describe because they're floral. But to me, it smells like what I say violet, but I don't know if violet has a smell, but these just smell magnificent and floral. And that's a really great sign. The other thing about wood bluets too, the stem's quite stringy. So you can see that stem pulls away as opposed to being a spongy or super hollow or something. That's definitely a wood bluet. And that's a pretty good little specimen, that guy. That'll go nice in the pot. We've got a bunch here, so I'm going to start picking all these and see if we can find some more fairy rings. One thing that really blows me away with people picking mushrooms
quite often, like, there's a big conversation around how to pick wild mushrooms. A lot of people do that, right? And that's cool. But if you put that as it is into your mushroom basket, all that shit there is going to go in the gills in here. And once you get grit in the gills, it's very difficult to get out. So my recommendation is just to cut it at the stem. Don't pull it up by the roots. You can just cut it at the stem. Don't forget, these are just the fruiting bodies. So the mushroom is all under the ground. These are just the fruiting bodies. So this is like picking the apple from a tree. I guess is the best analogy there. But just cut them, and then that way, and clean the tops. If you've got a little, Lisa's got a really great mushroom foraging knife that's got a brush on it. This is just a pocket knife. But make sure that you clean them before you pop them into your basket, so you're not getting any, you're not going to tarnish any of those mushrooms with grit and rubbish. Just a simple cut, clean, and you've got a relatively clean mushroom. And look at these guys, come and look at that, they just look absolutely gorgeous on the oak leaves. So pretty. And if you get the really young ones, these ones are probably a good couple of days old, 3 or 4 days old, because you can tell that the edges of this mushroom are flattened out. And if we do get to find a young one, you'll see these corners here, these edges are usually curled up when they're young, but they flatten out as they get older. But I'll just keep picking here. There's a bunch of bluets. Let's see if we can find some young ones. Wood bluet mushrooms are kind of sneaky. Like, when they pop up, they really pop up. However, in a lean season like this year, where we're kind of in a drought, you don't want to miss out on any opportunity to get these mushrooms, because they only come once a year. And they're really important to us in a culinary sense and an annual kind of food tradition sense. So what you need to do is, you can see these obvious ones here, and that's great. You've got a wood bluet there, but you've got to be really careful when you walk around, because there's wood bluets everywhere and you can't see them. And here's a good example. We've got a little bit of a bulge here in the leaf litter there, and we've got a bulge in the leaf litter here. And you don't want to pass up on those opportunities. So where you see those and you've got a bunch of mushrooms pop up, just move the leaf litter to the side, and then you can see you've got some wood bluets there, which is great. Now, what I'm going to do is, because there's a lot of mushrooms here already, we're going to fill our basket relatively easily. So there's going to be somebody who's going to come through here in the next couple of days, and they can pick these guys. And that's an important thing to do. That's good mushroom etiquette. Don't harvest everything. Leave something for the next person. Be kind. I've got quite the haul here, and Lash is just getting a couple more. As you can see, that fairy ring hidden in the leaf litter. But they're there. And we've got enough here for cooking, and we're going to dry some out so that we can use them throughout the year, because these mushrooms make a really nice stock as dried mushrooms.
These are a couple. There's a pair here. Cute.
So we've got a bunch of really great looking bluets that we've picked from this fairy ring here. We've left a couple of little ones. We're going to go to check out a couple of other spots, and see if we can find some more wood bluets. Let's head up here. It's the only one here, but check out this guy. This is called a slippery jack, because they can be quite slimy and a bit slippery, but this is from the Boletus family, and they've got a sponge gill, which is really cool. And this is a really young one. If you can see here in this detail, I'll just clear away this little bit of film here, which is all natural. And check out this spectacular sponge in here. So they're very slippery and sticky. But check it, look at the colour in there. just awesome. Not my favourite mushroom, but these guys, when they're dried out, I prefer them when they're dried out. These make a stock similar to a porcini, because they're kind of in the same genus, I believe. But that's a slippery jack. That's an absolute ripper. So hopefully we can find some more slippery jacks. Holy moly. We just walked past this holly bush, which is also a bit of a weed, and discovered a new wood bluet ring. And I've been picking this area for somewhere between 15 to 20 years. I have never seen wood bluets in this spot, which is absolutely bizarre, but very exciting. So we'll grab these ones. They're a bit on the wet side. They're a bit old, but still good to pick. Fantastic. That's a pretty good haul. Just look there. Oh, that's awesome. Let's go get some more.
Yeah. Check these guys out.
What'd you find?
I didn't pick them. They're wild though.
Well, that's good. If you don't know, don't pick. Oh, wow, they're beautiful.
Take a look, they're right there.
Epic.
That is so cool. I've never seen those before. They are fantastic.
Those beautiful looking mushrooms but unidentified mushrooms are a good reminder. You know, when you're picking wild food, wild mushrooms especially, if you're unsure, don't pick, just leave it. It's not worth it. You don't want to poison yourself or your family or friends. So if you're unsure, just don't pick them. And of course, if you can learn how to pick wild mushrooms with a professional, and when I say professional, a professional amateur like I am, get that skill set from somebody. Don't just Google something and hope for the best. You just can't mess around with something like wild mushrooms. It really is a life and death kind of situation. But do get out there, get out in nature and spend time in this beautiful environment. It's really great, just recharges the batteries like nobody's business. There's another spot up here, we'll just take a peek. Hopefully we get some in this spot. I think this fairy ring is in a completely different spot this year because it's really putting me off. I have no idea where they are. Yeah, because they were on that side of that fallen tree. You'd expect them to come through here. Haven't found any yet. Oh, no, that's a poo. Kangaroo poo. Gets me every time. Oh, did we pick these? Or is that somebody else? There's 1, 2, 3 stems that are cut here. That may have been us last week. That's kind of good. Nothing else in there though. Really hard to spot under this. Yay! They're right in front of me. This happens all the time. There's none there, and then voila. Let's have a look under here.
right under here, under this leaf litter. There's a couple of really nice juvenile guys. These are really nice looking ones. We can pick this one without getting too dirty. Oh yeah, lovely. I kind of like them at this size. And you can see this is a young wood blewit because the edges are still curled up. And obviously it's significantly smaller. Not that size matters. So this is usually not a bad spot each year, but it's pretty terrible this year. So we're going to jump back in the car, head up that way, and there's one final spot we'll check out before we finish up and call it a day. It's been a pretty nice morning out here so far, and we have a very heavy basket of mushrooms, so we're both pretty stoked about this situation. Let's go check out this last spot, and we've come to our last spot. We're just going to check out a couple of known fairy rings here, see if we can spot anything. But we have noticed there is another person up here, which is all fair in mushroom foraging. It's public land, it's open to everyone, so it's just a matter of getting in here and seeing if we can find some more. And then I'm going to head home, I think. Yeah, I think there's a bit of leaf disturbance here. Oh, yeah, there's some here. Got them. Right here, there's a couple of little ones. Little one, I'll leave that guy there. He's too small, but I will take this guy. Oh, there's more popping up too. Oh, look at that. Young, and just, this is when they've got the brightest violet colour. When they're this age, they look really great. And the smell is just smells like the forest floor. It's so beautiful. But we'll leave these little guys for somebody else. They'll be right in a couple of days. Lisa just walked past these guys right here.
There's a whole bunch of guys over.
When you've been picking mushrooms for a long time, you scan the forest floor like this, and from a distance, if you've got a keen eye, you can spot the very species of mushrooms you're looking for, like this guy here. Ta-da! Wood blewit. Lisa is very excited and told me to come over here. She's losing her shit. Oh, this is the ring.
There's a massive one. There's some heaps over down that way.
Holy moly, wow.
Yep. Mushrooms.
It's like the El Dorado of wood blewits.
Yep. I have to be careful about where I stand. I may have squished some.
Oh boy. Oh man, they go forever, don't they? Oh boy. Oh, it's ridiculous. Look, well done, babe. New ring, it is. Because this is the ring, right? That usually, you know how I keep talking about the Power Lab?
Yep.
This is it. But I've never seen it be this prolific before. We are going to be drying out mushrooms. And you know what? We have used all the wood blewit dried mushrooms. So this is good to top it up. Well, I mean, replace them because we don't have any.
None. There was some.
Score. Where to go through here?
Yeah, there,
Epic. Ah, here they are. Yeah. So Wow, this is a weird circle. Fairy ring. Oh, these guys are perfect. Oh man, I got dust, dirt on me. Who would have thought being in nature, eh? Look at that. Aren't they
wow.
perfect little
Cute little guys.
juvenile ones? They're, you know what?
Not drying ones.
You know what? Mushrooms, sautéed, garlic, butter, salt, pepper, mortadella.
Oof.
What cheese we got? We got the provolone.
Provolone.
We got.
Gorgonzola.
I don't think I'd do the gorgonzola too much.
Strong?
Yeah, but definitely that provolone, mortadella, and mushroom would be a great mushroom melt for lunch.
Yum.
That's what we'll do for lunch. All right. What do you reckon? Have we got enough? I think we've got enough.
I've got quite a few.
Yep. I got wet knee patches.
Perfect.
Been on my knees again.
Where do you belong?
Where I belong. Who's the boss? We have nearly finished, but discovered one more.
Over there, actually.
Yep. And there's a thing we find with picking wild mushrooms, you need to Kenny Rogers that shit at some stage. You're going to know when to hold them, fold them, and when to walk away. Otherwise you'll be out here for hours and it'll be more of Kenny Loggins' highway to the danger zone, because you'll just be stuck out in the forest. So we are packing it in.
Let's go.
That's it, we're done. Well done. So we've come back from the bush and we have so many of these wood bluets that we're going to luxuriate in them. And I wouldn't normally do something like this, but we've got so many, yeah, we can just do whatever we want. So put those aside. We're going to dry a lot of those. We're going to make probably a gnocchi, like a ricotta gnocchi as well, with a nice mushroom sauce. But anyway, that's another time. All I got here is wood bluets, keeping it super simple. Wood bluets, garlic, sage, butter, salt and pepper, one little slippery jack that I'm going to pop in there as well. I'm just going to saute these off and then make a mortadella mushroom provolone toasted sandwich and just be absolutely filthy and have a really lovely lunch. So start sauteing. Thing I love about these mushrooms is that when you look at the colour, you would think, please probably don't eat these, but trust me, these ones are delicious. All that sticky flavour. All right, so this is going to be a simple toasty. We've got some fresh ciabatta, some provolone cheese we picked up from the deli yesterday, and we've got some mortadella. So this is it's a bit luxurious, not something that we would normally do, but you know, you only live once. Luxuriate in the mushroom season. We'll toast these and get them nice and melty, so they'll be a delicious mushroom melt. And that mushroom flavour will be fantastic paired with a mortadella. Bit of provolone on the top. Oh, this is going to be a nice toasty. Even distribution. A little bit more pepper. Pepper and mushroom, best friends. And in we go. Wow, they look really good. These are very hot. They look good. Oh, yum. That is going to be a filthy toasted sambo. Bit of olive oil. Bit of salt. Done. That's it. Wild mushroom melt with provolone and mortadella. Oh, lol. That's really yummy. That was worth all the effort.